Oh, that was an awful idea. I was trying to hit my webcam, but I hit my screen instead. What a fucking idiot. Anyways, alright, chat. Probably should have done it with a softer object. Right, okay. Obviously, as we know, I'm a championship-themed channel on YouTube. I like Preston North End. It's a championship club. However, I can't do this video just yet for the championship because Birmingham are yet to release their home kit or anything about it as of this recording, and just you watch, I'll upload this and they'll do it, but I don't care. I'm bored, I need video ideas, and Tom Cannon hasn't been announced yet, so fuck it. Premier League kit ranking 23-24 season as alphabetically as possible because I can't be arsed checking everything. So I'm gonna swing right into it. Similar format to what we did last year. So first up, Arsenal. Is it as good as last season's kit? Absolutely not. But is it still a good kit? I think so, yeah. I like the detail on it. It's a very nice and very simplistic looking kit. Actually, no, wait. I'm doing this wrong, aren't I? Last season I had a page up for every single kit so we could get a better look. I'll be right back. Alright, try again. I'm down here, by the way, so you can actually see the tier list. But anyways, this is Arsenal's home shirt. Like I said, not as good as last season's in my opinion. I think they had the best shirt last season. But I'm just a sucker for a shirt that looks retro with a collar and all that good shit. But anyways, Arsenal's kit. It's gold. I think they was under the impression that they was going to piss the league. And obviously they bottled it. So this is now funny to look at. But down the side of the seams on the shirt, if you get the authentic version, you see the win record from their invincible season, which is a very nice detail. And the actual pattern itself going down the shirt, the little zigzag, is pretty nice. It's definitely one of the better kits in the league this season, but saying that, a lot of the kits in the league this season are actually very, very nice. So it's going to be a tough choice to put these in XYZ places. So for now, I think I'm going to put Arsenal in grey, just because I want to keep the bar for Chef's Kiss high. I want it to be a high bar to reach. So I'm going to put it in Chef's Kiss. now that I'm looking at the rest of the ones on the bottom, it's going in Chef's Kiss.
We're going to win the Champions League!
Aston Villa. This is the first shirt that features Aston Villa's brand new badge, which I am personally a big fan of. Of course, the classic Aston Villa crest has been around for years now, but they wanted a new crest and they asked their own fan base to come up with something, and I think what they came up with was pretty nice. In terms of what they get presented with as a shirt and a pattern, this looks more like a Burnley West Ham shirt than it does a Villa shirt. Not complaining for their sakes, because I think this looks lovely. Even the fucking shitty sleeve sponsors. Sleeve sponsors bring clubs money, I get that, but sometimes they can absolutely destroy a good looking shirt, but this one doesn't. This one's absolutely, it's harmless. And the middle sponsor being BK8, I've never heard of. It doesn't look that bad either. The pattern going down the shirt as well is very nice. Of course, you've got these little dots which Castell like to do with their shirts. All around, it's just genuinely a decent shirt. It's not quite a Chef's Kiss. Why am I doing that? It's not quite a Chef's Kiss shirt in my opinion. Because it's just, I don't know, I just don't really like the colour of the shirt. I know I gave Burnley Chef's Kiss last season. But I just really loved the pattern on that shirt last season. It was just really nice to look at. But yeah, I think this looks more like a Burnley shirt than a Villa shirt. But overall, I think it's just great.
It is decent!
Bournemouth are up next. And when it comes to Bournemouth, there's not much you can do with a black and a red shirt, is there? You know, there's only so much you can innovate. Like, just looking at last season's, that was quite innovative for their standards with the zigzaggy pattern on it. But this one reverts back to the basics of what you'd normally expect from a Bournemouth shirt. But it's just with how bold and striking everything looks when you look at it head on, especially with the sponsor complementing the trim on the badge. If only the Umbro had the yellow trim as well, I think it would stand out a little bit more, and maybe some like other trims on the sleeves and whatnot. But in general, it's as standard as they come. I'm not a massive fan of striped shirts like this. The only shirt I enjoyed with this format last year was Stoke, because they spruced it up a little bit and had little crosses, you know, the crosshatch pattern going through it. I thought it looked really nice. But this, like I say, is as standard as it comes. So unfortunately, it's going to be as standard as it comes, and it goes in fine. And I knew I hadn't ordered them alphabetically because Burnley's here for some fucking reason. Nay. We'll look at Brentford then. We'll go in alphabetical order according to the website, not according to me because I'm a retard. So, Brentford. This is the shirt they'll be using for the current campaign that's approaching us and the campaign afterwards. Why? I don't remember why, but something to do with either Umbro or Hollywood Bets, as far as I'm aware anyway. But what do I think of the shirt? I think it's nice. Again, striped shirts, not a fan of. I don't know how to feel about the black there on the sleeve, but it does complement the bottom of the shirt nicely. and as well as the sponsor and the black umbro as well. It looks nice. The whole shirt complements itself really nicely is what I'm trying to say here. And the whole, I think it says "Be Together" inside. Obviously it's nice. Kits that do shit like that are pretty cool. The little B on the back of the shirt's also pretty cool. But the thing that really catches my eye about the shirt is the black that fades up the red, and it's got the little, like a not digital pattern, but like it reminds me of like comic book patterns. It's really, I think it's nice. And when it comes to Brentford as well, you know, striped shirts, plain striped shirts, what can you do? Like you look at last season's same shirt just without the black. But shut the fuck up, Java. But with the black, it looks nice. Everything stands out. It looks bolder. So, you know, for that reason, I think I'm gonna have to slap it. Maybe. I see it's striped shirts. I don't know. Is there something about it? But it's just the way how bold it looks. I'll put it in great for now. But at the bottom of great, borderline fine.
Yo, that's alright.
Alphabetically Brighton and X. So again, ignore my poor alphabet skills. But when it comes to Brighton's shirt last season, I really didn't like it because. Oh, it's not even going to show me. I didn't like Brighton. Oh, yeah, well, it's there. I didn't like the yellow on it. I thought the yellow ruined the shirt in many places. However, this season, they've completely obliterated that idea and they've just kept the blue. And this looks a lot tidier. I think it looks a lot nicer. There's an abundance more stripes. And the American Express in the middle still looks a bit silly. But compared to last year, it's a lot better. I think it's better anyway. It just looks more appealing and easier on the eyes. And the darker sleeves at the bottom are a nice touch as well. But, you know, with the blue trimmer on the night tick and all that good stuff, it complements the shirt much nicer. The only thing I don't like, right, and that Nike do this a lot, and I don't know if any other suppliers are guilty, but just carving out a massive fucking space on the back of the shirt that's blank. Now, obviously, this is so you can put numbers on the back, so it's easy to see when you're watching it on the telly, or in person, or for referees. But when you're buying a replica shirt with no fucking number on it, and you've got this massive white patch on the back, it looks like someone's just peeled off the back half of your shirt and handed it to you like it was a sticker. It looks stupid and I hate it so much. I understand why it has to be done, but at the same time, it doesn't mean I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt because it looks fucking stupid. And when I was saying about sleeve sponsors earlier as well, this it's a black and yellow one. It looks fine, I suppose. There's nothing wrong with it. But in terms of the shirt itself, genuinely, I do think it's a great, for a striped shirt, it's a great shirt. Simply because of how easygoing it is on the eyes. Better than Brentford's. The only problem is it's just that bald patch on the back. It looks like the shirt's receding.
Mopa, you are an absolute disgrace. You're a cheat. I hope Brighton get relegated.
Okay, the Dingles are up next, and this looks more like a West Ham shirt than it does a Burnley shirt, simply because of the collar. Compared to last season's more modern-looking jersey with the crazy pattern on it, I'm thoroughly disappointed, to be fair with you, because I think last season they absolutely smashed it out of the park with the kit. I thought it was one of the best looking ones I've seen for a long time in terms of a club that were in the Championship at the time. You know, with a sponsor like Classic Football Shirts as well, you know, bringing not a small business, but bringing a business that's just gaining its popularity closer to home to being, you know, a bit bigger. It's nice. But when it comes to this new shirt, it's just as plain as it gets, really. There's a faint pattern on the shirt. The sponsor's awful. Where it says Clarets on the back is nice, but the pattern doesn't exactly continue on the back, and that's a shame, because if the pattern continued up the back, it would look a lot nicer, but it just simply doesn't, and it looks like a really lazy shirt. So for me, it's going in fine.
Burnley are a team I'd love to see get relegated. I'm sorry if there are any Burnley fans. Don't worry, there's not many.
Right, Chelsea are up next, and much like last season, I am a strong believer that this could be my least favourite shirt this season. What on God's fucking earth is this? I understand they said it's a 90s thing. I think the whole promotional campaign is it's a 90s thing, something like that. Yeah, it's a 90s. It's based off their old 90s kits. But holy fuck, this is not how you do it. I understand the appeal behind golden badges and golden night ticks that are reflective because it's cool. But no, it's not. This is ridiculous. It's the exact... If you look at the shirt like this on this picture, it's the exact same template from last season, just without the white bits and without the shitty collar. It's Liverpool's shirt from last season, just with a couple added extras. Something they've pulled out the warehouse and then made it unique to Chelsea. That's not the way to do it. Yes, it's nice where it says London Chelsea in gold on the inside, but the rest of the kit, without a sponsor, I don't know if it's going to have a sponsor or not, but even if it doesn't have a sponsor, it still looks stupid. I don't know, there's just something about it that I really, really do not like, and I can't put my finger on it. It just doesn't look visually appealing at all. Classic and simple, yes. Appealing, fucking god no. Retro aesthetic like this needs to be done in a way where the shirt matches the retro aesthetic of the design. This is a modern shirt trying to be retro. It's like when you do GCSE drama and you have to pretend to be an old man. That's what this shirt's trying to do. It's not the other way around. It's that way around. If it was a classic base with a modern front, actually no, I said that wrong. If it's a modern base with a classic front, then it would be an old man trying to act like he's still 20. But it's not. It's the other way around, and it looks stupid. I hate it. I think it's dog shit. It's probably my least favourite shirt this season without a question.
There's no passion, there is no vision.
Right, Crystal Palace next. These guys have been impressing me recently. Last season's shirt got a lot of shit because people said it looked like a toddler drew it with a Sharpie. And to be fair, I can see where they're coming from, but I just thought it was quite visually appealing. But this one, I quite like. I don't know what it's supposed to be, because I know fuck all about Crystal Palace or where they're from. I believe it's London. I know fuck all about Crystal Palace, but it's nice. Obviously, the sponsor breaking up the line down the middle is hit and miss with people, I'd imagine, but I don't think it's too offensive. The sponsor itself being Cinch is just fine. It's just as simple as it gets. But Crystal Palace have always been red and blue. The split down the middle is a fine, solid idea, and the pattern is great. It looks nice in this lighting as well. But when you look at the back, I like the eagle. A lot of teams are doing this season, where they put something that represents the club on the back. As a whole, as a full package, I think this shirt is pretty damn nice, and I don't really have a problem with it, because you're going to see it from the front most times anyway. I don't have a problem with the shirt at all. I think it's a really nice looking shirt. I think it would complement with the shorts a bit nicer if the shorts were inverted from the shirt, but we're not talking about shorts, we're talking about shirts. And as far as Palace goes, I think this is great. Maybe borderline chef's kiss, but I'll reconsider that. Right, Everton are up next, and I gave Everton a bit of stick last season for their shirt because I thought it was a bit too plain. Well, not exactly plain, but for my taste, I didn't really like it. The faint pattern was fine enough, but it removed the yellow trims from the season before and all that other stuff like that. For Hummel standards, I thought it was a bit poor. However, this season, they've gone and copied what Adidas did last season with the whole collar and the funky patterns. I think they saw the success of the sales with Arsenal and Man United and all the other clubs like that. And they thought, fuck it, why not, let's do it. And again, it's coming from Hummel. And the shirt itself looks plain, but I believe it does have, you can see faint stitching on what... Oh, never mind, no, it is plain. But even still, when it being plain, it doesn't actually look awful, to be fair. Close-ups of it as well, you can see it is a pretty high-quality shirt. Definitely one of those ones that are... what's the word I'm looking for that I'm waffling? Bespoke. Of course, you've got the fucking thing on the back as well. Like I said, every team's doing this, putting something there on where your neck is, something to represent Everton. But as far as it goes, this shirt also has a sponsorless version, and there is not an image for it here, but fuck, this shirt goes hard without a sponsor. It feels 80s. This is the example I was giving before. This feels like an 80-year-old trying to revert back to his adolescence, and in this case, it really works. It really does work, because like I said, the classic feel, bordered with a modern brand, with a modern jersey approach, the feel and the style and the aesthetic and the look, with a modern sponsor as well as your eco-weight, a lot of the bollocks you put at the bottom of a shirt these days. I have no idea what this is supposed to represent. Maybe that's their record from last season. Draw, loss, draw. I don't know what it's supposed to represent, but I don't care what it represents. It looks nice. And of course, as an Everton thing they do a lot these days is put the arrows going down the shoulder. But like I said, this feels like a retro shirt brought to a modern aesthetic done right, especially without the sponsor. And until I can consider it before we put them in place at the end of the video, it's going in chef's kiss. Before we reorder them from worst to best, genuinely it's the contender for my favourite shirt this season. As someone who doesn't really like a lot of Everton shirts, I think they've absolutely smashed it this season. That is beautiful. Now don't get me wrong, I'm a sucker for shirts with collars, and that might be where the bias is coming from, because I thought a lot of Adidas shirts last season were like fucking top notch, the Arsenal and Man United ones, and the Real Madrid and shit like that. I thought they were brilliant. But that's just my preference for a shirt. I just like a shirt like that.
You want some chicken?
Anyway, moving on, Fulham. Last season, Fulham shirt I thought was a bit of a standout, really. I don't remember it saying Fulham FC on it. I remember it being W88, but whatever. I thought it was nice with being a simple plain white shirt with the red trims. I thought it looked pretty damn nice. However, this time they've gone for black sleeves as well as an inverted colour scheme on the Adidas. Now, I don't like the inverted colour scheme at all. I think it looks silly. The sponsor this time around is SB or Top, if I've said that correctly. I don't care. And again, something on the neck, but as far as it goes, it's got faint stripes on it in an abundance, by the way, and it's just, I don't know, it feels more like a training shirt than it does a home shirt, if that makes sense. It looks like leisure wear that I'd wear to the gym, even though I don't go to the gym, as you can probably tell. I don't know, maybe it's just me and my autism that I don't like this kind of style of football shirt. Well, I don't mind it, it just doesn't stand out to me in any way, shape or form. So I think I'm just going to have to throw it in fine. I don't really have much of an opinion on it, to be fair.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
Alright, Liverpool are up next, and Liverpool are not Liverpool, sorry, specifically Nike are the laziest motherfuckers on the planet. And this is going to prove it, because Liverpool's shirt last season was exactly the same as this one, to the T. Everything about the shirt, from its design to its inner stitching, was identical to this shirt. The only difference is it now has white trims on the collar and the sleeves. And that is to try and harken back to a shirt they had in the 60s? I think it was the 60s. I can't remember. Let's have a look. Yeah, no, it doesn't tell me. It's based on a very old retro shirt. That's all I know. Of course, you've got the 97 on the back for Hillsborough. You know, that's going to be a Liverpool standard. They're never going to change that. But in terms of how it looks like a casual shirt you'd wear out and about. Like, you know, something you buy from Primark. It doesn't look like a football shirt. And then again, it's the same shirt as last season, and I did not rate last season's shirt. I thought it was really poor. But this time around, instead of it being the exact same shirt with the white trims, they've made it a bit brighter, because last season it was quite a dark red. Not quite burgundy, but a dark red. And they brightened it up, because I'd imagine it got a bit of negativity towards it, but it's lazy. It's as lazy as it comes. I'm going to have to put it in poor. Oh, that's Forest. What am I doing? It's poor. Don't get me wrong. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's not as bad as Chelsea's. I wouldn't be caught dead in Chelsea's shirt. I wouldn't be caught dead in Liverpool's, because I can't stand Liverpool. But at the same time, if I had to choose to wear a shirt, I wouldn't mind wearing Liverpool shirt, because, like you say, it looks like casual wear. So that's the only thing keeping it from being in dog shit, because as far as it comes, it's so lazy and I just don't care for it.
Being serious, I'm being serious.
Right, Luton are up next, and Luton's another one of those teams that I've been really catching my eye recently, because last season's home shirt was one of my favourites with the mad pattern that they had going on. This one's a bit more simple. It reminds me a lot of that same David Beckham collar shirt Preston had back in the 90s, the 94 home shirt, which again, that is one of my favourite kits of all time. Don't get me wrong. But maybe it's because I've got the Preston bias or whatever, and the vertical sponsors. Ooh, but with this shirt, I don't know. It doesn't impress me as much as last season. I like how the sponsors got the black outline to make it stand out, make it bold, as well as the deep purple trim that Luton's got going around the sleeves and going down the side to separate the white and the orange again. The mad fade effect going between the orange, as well as a very discreet pattern on the shirt. This is one of those shirts that would look better in person, because when it comes to making these videos, it's always very difficult, because a lot of football shirts look better in person. You have to see them in person, and unfortunately, I don't have access to a Luton Town Football Club shirt because they don't sell them in Sports Direct. So this is going to be a funny one that I'm just going to have to base it off my eyeballs. And as far as I can see right now, it's alright. I mean, it's not as good as last season's, like I say, but at the same time, I don't mind it all too much. I think it's one of those shirts that tries to feel classic at the same time as trying to look normal. Because what I've noticed this season is a lot of teams are going for a retro feel for their home or away shirt, or both. And I'm not against that at all, because retro shirts are a lot better than what we get these days. But again, like the example I gave before, if you're trying to go from your 80s and act adolescent again, then you can get let off. But if you're trying to act like you're 80 in your adolescence, you're just a bit of a retard. So I shouldn't be using that word. You're a bit of a monk. That's not any better. It's fine.
I prefer really not to speak. If I speak, I am in big trouble.
Right, Manchester City up next. Last season's home shirt for Manchester City really grew on me as the season progressed. When I first saw it, I didn't like it. But as the season progressed, and the more I looked at the shirt and the more I saw it, the more I liked it. Again, that shirt tried to be retro. with the red, shit, because City used to have stuff like that. This shirt feels like a modern jersey. It really does feel modern. But at the same time, it feels like something they'd have from like 2009, around that time. I don't know if I'm just pulling that number out of my ass, but like, Aguero days, early Manchester City, Thomas Cook days, not the Coventry one. I don't know. This shirt looks like it could fit in that era, even though it looks absolutely nothing like it. When you had, your old shirts with your Eidos, but who remembers Eidos? But yeah, no, they tried to be Coventry in 2007, but I don't know. I don't know where I'm pulling this from, because now that I'm looking at this, it looks nothing like it. But at the same time, it just feels like it could fit in that era. I don't know why I'm thinking that way, but it just feels like it could belong in the early to late 2000s of the Premier League, when it was still Barclays Premier League. Now, of course, it's doing the criminal thing of not including the pattern on the back, like most things do, and the way it just says shitty on the neck, I'm not a fan of. You could have done something a bit better than that. I've no idea what that's supposed to represent. Maybe it's the postcode of the Etihad, but I don't care. It's cool, but I don't care. But as far as the shirt goes, I think it's pretty standard. Again, it's one of those shirts I don't have an opinion on. Maybe if the sleeves have the same white trim, then maybe. V-necks do my head in, and a lot of teams have V-necks, including Preston. And I prefer crew necks, but it is what it is. But in terms of a City shirt, this one is fine. I don't think it's going to be anything special and one that people remember, especially considering they won the treble in last season's shirt. But I think this is just a fine enough shirt. We've got a lot of fines here, considering I said a lot of these are good shirts.
First half was good, but second half was shit.
Right, Man United now. When this shirt was first leaked, I saw some mixed reactions from people I know that are Man United supporters. But the more I look at the shirt, the more I'm starting to like it, because it really wants to emphasise Lancashire, because it has, if you can see up here on the neck, it looks like the red rose of Lancashire. To me, it looks like the red rose of Lancashire, and the entire shirt has that general. It looks like a glass pane, like a stained glass window in a church. That, but Lancashire, and it has that going around the entire front of the shirt. Of course, it doesn't have it on the back, but it's got a kind of different marking on the back, which is less criminal. But this is a modern jersey, 100% a modern jersey. I like the neck with the different lines tapering around and the black lines on the shoulder. Adidas is going for this new kind of style with its logo on football shirts as well, which I do rate. I think it looks really nice, but again, it brings that modern feel to the jerseys. Jerseys keep trying to look more modern and futuristic, even though you can't make a shirt look futuristic. It doesn't make sense, I know. Ignore me, but I don't know. I think it belongs in grey. It's not a chef's kiss, not at all, but it looks clean. It looks clean, and I like the emphasis on Lancashire if that's what they're going for, if I'm not just seeing things. So I think it's just a great shirt as far as it comes. I don't really have many complaints. It just doesn't look good enough to be top tier.
It is! Oh, it's delightful! It's delightful! It's still delightful!
Newcastle are up next, and of course, Newcastle's another one of those teams that you really cannot innovate with, because it's stripes. You can't do anything with fucking stripes, especially when you're running around the pitch looking like a zebra. But at least on the back of the shirt, it doesn't have a big bold patch like the night kits do, because Castor actually like the customers. But NUFC on the back, standard. The thing that really makes the shirt pop for me really is how bold the sponsor looks, as well as Castor's badge. And then of course you've got the trim on the neck and on the sleeves. It looks bold. Oh god, I burped. Oh god. Not a lot of Newcastle shirts disappoint me, I'll be honest. I like a lot of what Newcastle has to offer, especially since they've been manufactured by Castor, because the way they bring forward unique designs for their away and third shirts is really nice. Again, you can't do much with these home shirts, but for what it's worth, I think it belongs in grey, because then again, like I say, it pops and it's bold. That's what it looks like. It makes a statement, even though that makes no sense. It's as modern as a jersey can get while maintaining the spirit of a club without sacrificing anything. So yeah, that's my reasoning. It sounds bollocks, and it is bollocks, but let's roll with it.
That is a foul! You fucking little bastard!
Right, Nottingham Forest. I'm just gonna throw it into dog shit straight away. It's so plain. There is nothing going on here. I mean, I know there's a lot of people that vouch and fight for fucking plain shirts because they don't like funky designs. But when you say you want a plain shirt, we don't mean this plain. There's nothing going on here at all. I'm a giraffe now, apparently. Right, anyway, like I was saying, it's got dots on the sleeves and it's got the Adidas straps on the top. This is the first shirt under the new Adidas deal because last season they was made by Macron. And even that shirt was still just alright in my opinion, but this is just as fucking lazy as it comes. Adidas signed a contract to produce forest shirts and they thought, fuck, what can we do? We can't just put trees up the shirt. And they just panicked and released this last minute with no sponsor on it at all. And it's just, it looks lazy. And then again, there's white down the side of the tapers, but that doesn't do it any justice either. And on the back, it's got that massive bold patch separated by a seam for numbers. Why? What's the need? You know where the numbers go. It's a plain shirt. There's nothing to avoid. Yeah, it's horrid. It's not as bad as Chelsea's, simply because Chelsea's just, I don't like the fucking, you know, like when it's like 2015 and all like Gen Zs are starting high school and they've got those hype backpacks that are fucking chameleon fucking, what's the word I'm looking, not RGB, the word I'm looking for, iridescent, or you know, like when you take your car to Los Santos Customs and you put the chrome filter on it and you do the pearlescent glitch and it looks like some oil spill on your car. You know what I'm trying to say. There was a Black Ops 3 camo that looks exactly like it. It's ugly. Yeah, that's a dog shit shirt.
Oh, fuck off. Get out. My eyes are bleached. Get that away from me.
Right, Sheffield United. Another one of those striped shirts, but last season's I quite enjoyed it simply because of how bold it looked. This is another one that looks bold by taking advantage of the black across the white and the red again. But it just doesn't stand out as much as last season, especially considering it's sponsorless, which I don't know why. Maybe, is this permanent? I have no idea. But again, it just doesn't look as bold as the last one did. And that's quite disappointing for me because I was quite a fan of that shirt last season, considering it's a shirt style that I do not enjoy. But as far as this goes, to me, this is a fine looking shirt. I don't really need to explain it, to be honest. It's just, it is what it is. Can I get a picture of the back? Did the stripe? Yeah, the stripes run at the back, so that's alright. And the blades on the back are nice. But again, it's just a fine shirt. Nothing against it. It's just nothing special.
That tastes like promotion!
Spurs are next, and you can't really do a lot with the Tottenham shirt, can you? But to give Spurs the benefit of the doubt, Spurs are a team that I do not like whatsoever. I can't stand Spurs. However, I'm not gonna put that against this shirt. It tries to be unique. It uses the same shit format they had last season, as well as Liverpool and Chelsea, using this exact same template. But instead of keeping it plain, they've now made it look like a Mario Maker toolkit. It looks fine. Again, I haven't got a problem, and it tries, like I said, it tries to be modern. And I like the purple tints. If you didn't know, purple's actually my favourite colour. And I really do enjoy like the purple cinch on the side. And I know that's trying to be navy blue, but it looks more purple to me. But yeah, it again, you can't do much with this sponsor in the middle either. They've had this for years now, and I don't like it. But the design's going across the shirt. It looks quite industrial, and I do like it. The THFC looks like something out of a 2003's video game, so that's fun. But yeah, the shirt as a whole, it's as standard as it comes. It's nowhere near as bad as last season's shirt, because I didn't like last season's whatsoever. I thought, well, sorry, no. It might be the season before I'm thinking of, because I didn't mind this shirt too much, simply because of the coloured trims. I didn't mind it much. But because this doesn't have any coloured trims, and it instead decides to pay more focus on the actual pattern of the shirt as well as the sleeve, I don't want to look at him, and the sleeve sponsors on the side and whatnot, it stands out that bit more. So again, it's just fine. Nothing special about it, but at least it tries to make an effort.
Let's go! Come on!
Right, West Ham are next, and this looks like an Aston Villa shirt. They've gone round the rotation this season, all the claret and blue clubs. They've just rotated each other's shirts. But this one, the reason why it's a West Ham shirt is because it's blowing fucking bubbles up the shirt. You should know, if you're watching this video, that West Ham are associated with blowing fucking bubbles, because at the start of every game and when a goal is scored, they blow bubbles. There's bubble machines around the stadium. Their anthem is something to do with blowing bubbles. So to incorporate that into a football shirt is pretty damn smart. I like the concept. The execution is questionable, because unless you try to look at it properly like I just have now, that's why I sound so excited, because I've only just clocked. I thought they were just random spirals. I thought it was like when you play a game that's set in the dystopian future and it's got a loading screen. It looks like a loading bar, not a bubble. So the execution could be better. And the back's very plain. It would have been nice if we had bubbles going up the back, or embroidered into the shirt the lyrics of the anthem. That would have been nice. JD on the sleeve looks retarded. So again, it's just another one of those shirts that is it's fine, I guess. The concept is nice. I rate the concept, but the execution could have been a wee bit better.
Enjoy. Whoa, we're close.
And last but not least, we've got Wolverhampton. And with Wolves this season, I think they've opted for a bit less black on the shirt, and instead gone for the neck thing and the sleeve thing with the tapers, which a lot of Castore shirts have done this season. A lot of people slag Nike off for reusing ideas, but Castore have sort of shot themselves in the foot and they've done that as well. But apart from the differences with Castore shirts, the rest of the shirt is still bespoke, even though a lot of clubs share the same idea of the neck and the sleeves, like Preston have this as well. At least the rest of the shirt is unique to the club. That's why it's not as criminal. But in the terms of Wolves, it's a giant banana with bits of dark banana and a bit of black. So it's a banana that's going mouldy. That was a great analogy I've just come up with on the spot. God damn. I like the Castore wings on the sleeves. So that's pretty cool. The sleeve sponsor's fine. The front sponsor's fine. I like the black and white. It looks clean. Looks sharp. It complements the shorts nicely. But again, I can't use the shorts because we're not talking about the shorts, guys. So yeah, I'm just going to throw it in fine. It's not bold or anything. Well, it is bold, but it's not as bold as Newcastle's. I think I just prefer the look of a zebra to a banana that's moulding, but that's for me personally. Right, we've ranked them all in terms of their tiers, so now let's rank them from worst to best. So worst is Chelsea's. It's definitely Chelsea's. And then it's Forest at 19. They're obviously at 18, they're the only one in this bracket. But coming into fine, we need to move them from best to worst along here as well. So the best one in the fine category, I'm probably going to give it to Luton, followed shortly by Man City, then Spurs. I'm thinking about this really hard, that's why I'm not speaking. I'm going to give it to Wolves. Burnley are at the bottom of it for me. No, Fulham are and then Burnley, because at least Burnley has a collar, so it's got bonus points, it's got brownie points. We've got West Ham, Sheffield United. I'm going to swap them because I like West Ham's idea a bit more. I just think Wolves' shirt looks a bit more bold than West Ham's. I'm fine with that. Going into Great now. At the top of Great, I'm going to put Palace. It's just borderline chef's kiss for me. Then I'm going to go with United. Brighton. I'm fine with that. So now, what takes top spot for me? Is it Arsenal or Everton? See, Arsenal's idea is great because it interprets them as champions from that season, and they probably interpreted to be champions from last season as well, but that didn't pan out, so that's a bit funny. But at least we can laugh at Arsenal for that. But I love the gold trims on the shirt. Gold trims for me, if done right, look nice, and this is done right. This shirt has grown on me more and more since I've looked at it for the first time, and I love the authentic version of the shirt. However, Everton gets instant brownie points for having a collar. I don't know why. There's something about a collar on a football shirt that's just so nice. Everton's shirt, if it had a bit more pattern going down it for me, could be one of my favourite shirts the club has ever produced. It's just the fact it's a bit plain. But again, I've not got a problem with that. Maybe if the stake had a black outline as well, maybe, or actually no, that would have been a little bit silly. It's tough. It's a tough choice because they are both very nice shirts, and I don't want to just look like I'm handing it to Everton because I'm sat with an Evertonian right now. I don't want to look biased because I don't want to get slapped. But it's not bias that's factoring into it. It's just my preference for a football shirt. It's got everything that I like in a football shirt. It's simple. It plays it safe and simple while looking clean and bold. It's got a retro aesthetic to it while looking modern. You know, that healthy blend that a lot of clubs really struggle to get right. So I genuinely I'm going to have to put Everton at the top spot. Of all the clubs I expected to be putting at the top spot this year, Everton was not the club. But goddamn, since the moment they unveiled that shirt, I was like, this was something I was hoping to get for Preston. Genuinely, I was wanting something like this. The only thing that really marks Everton's shirt down for me this year is the fact that the sponsor doesn't ruin the shirt because, again, I don't mind their sponsor. It's not criminal, even though it promotes gambling. It just looks better without. It looks really serious without it. With stake, it looks a bit goofy. Without the stake, it looks like a serious fucking shirt. And I like that about it. It's interchangeable. Only problem is that really, and the fact that it copies a template from last year. It's not got the originality points that Arsenal's shirt has. But despite Arsenal's originality points, it's just not my preference of shirt. I don't really like the modern football shirt aesthetic that a lot of Adidas clubs and Nike clubs and not Puma, they've got a funky thing. Oh, sorry, Mike. They've got a funky thing going on. So yeah, I just don't like the modern football aesthetic really. I prefer the retro game, and Everton are really dipping the toes into the retro. Other clubs that have tried to dip the toes into the retro, for example, Liverpool and Chelsea. No, it was Chelsea. And Chelsea, clubs that have tried to dip into the retro, notice they're both manufactured by Nike, have just absolutely fell flat on their faces. Because again, it's the same shirt they used last season with a couple of minor touch-ups. These badges are horrendous. Never do this ever again. They did this for the Women's Euros in like 2020 or something like that when they had the reflective badges again, and I didn't like that at all either. And with Liverpool, what are you doing? You've used the same shirt, you've just put white on it and called it retro. Bollocks to it, that's lazy. You're trying to steal people's hard-earned cash with that. That's shame on you, Nike. I'm glad we've ended our partnership. But yeah, as far as the Premier League goes this year, that is my final ranking. What do I think of the overall quality of the Premier League shirts this season? I think they are pretty alright, to be fair. A majority of them I've put in fine. I've not got as many chef's kisses as I had last season. Maybe I'm trying to be a bit more strict this time around, but it is what it is. I think, so far, the Premier League have got a decent selection of kits. I'm only waiting for Birmingham now before we look at the Championship, and I am debating on dipping my toes into League 1 and 2, simply because League 1 I've seen a lot of very poor shirts, especially Barnsley's. I just want to take the piss out of Barnsley. But then I've also seen some other shit shirts like Blackpool's, and I'm not just saying that. But there are some good shirts in there as well. I think it's oh fuck, what team is it? Oh, forgot. Fuck. Fleetwood's away shirt. I believe Fleetwood are League 2. I think, because I don't think they won promotion. Carlisle did. Yeah, I think it's Fleetwood's away shirt and Carlisle's home shirt. Oh, they are things of beauties. Some of the best in the 92 this year. But again, that's only debatable. It depends how I'm feeling on my day. But yeah, that is my ranking for the Premier League kits. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you want to slap me? Do you want to shoot me? Well, you tell me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments on these shirts and all that lovely stuff. Follow on Twitter to engage in the discussion. I don't like promoting myself. I feel like a sellout, so I'm going to sign off now before I break my monitor with another box of bandages. So thanks again, and I'll see you next time. Giraffe.